The deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history continues to weigh very heavy on the minds of many people. And some news reports are revealing questions about the gunman's mental state. And Bexar County Sheriff Susan Parmelo is here to talk about what we should do if we know or see something that's suspicious that needs the attention of law enforcement. When do we know that we should call?
Well, often people say things or they act in a certain way that causes you to have a question. And when that kind of thing comes up, it's like we've said all along, when you see something, say something. If you hear something, if you recognize something that's out of the ordinary, say something, because it might just be that piece of the puzzle that helps us connect the dots. And we work closely with federal, state, and local law enforcement and share information so that we are keeping track of things that otherwise we may not be able to solve if we don't have that small piece of the puzzle. The other part is that as more information is coming out about this gunman, that there are possibly some issues related to mental health and emotional health. And again, if someone recognizes a change in behavior, different kinds of approaches to things, that often that may be an indication of a mental health crisis. And again, to let people know so that we can help that person. I've just come back from Washington, D.C. We were at, there's a group of us from Bexar County to the White House, the Office of Science and Technology Policy, to look at ways that we can deal better with mental illness in the criminal justice system and to address it before individuals come to jail.
Because before, it really was something that was not understood and almost ignored.
That's right. I mean, you think back in the 60s and the 70s, we warehoused people in mental institutions. Today, we warehouse people with mental illness in jails and prisons. And so often, and for instance, 60% of everyone in the Bexar County Jail today who has a diagnosis of mental illness, we're talking 400 to 500 people today, have been in and out of our jail 6 or more times. So if we had addressed the mental illness the first time that they were arrested and provided treatment in a community, we may not have had them in our jail, in and out, and just cycling through the criminal justice system.
Is that being done now?
We are doing much more of that. In fact, in last July, we implemented with every law enforcement agency across Bexar County that when someone is arrested and brought to the central magistrate, every law enforcement officer, whether it's a sheriff's deputy, a police officer, they ask 4 questions. Have you ever been treated by a doctor for mental illness? Have you ever been prescribed medication for mental illness? Have you in the past considered or tried to kill yourself? 4, are you thinking about killing yourself today? So obviously the answers to those questions drive an additional assessment or screening that we do with credentialed clinicians.
So progress is being made here when it comes to dealing with folks with mental illness. Thank you so much for sharing that. Robert?
All right, coming up, watch a hero in action. See how a student bravely stops a murder suspect.
Well, we are going to see some very hot temperatures shaping up for South Texas in your 4 zones. I'll tell you.